When you're drowning in bad news, if you're like me, you look for a lifeline. Raymond "Buzzy" McCausland provided it. He's the cab driver Stephen Smith first told us about Tuesday night, who found $187,000 in cash in a backpack in the rear of his cab and returned it. Turns out the guy who misplaced the money was homeless, recently inheriting it from his parents, so he really needed it. But did you read deeper to learn more about Buzzy? He really needed it too. Even admitted he thought for a nanosecond about keeping it. And it's hard to blame the guy. He's semi-retired, living on Social Security, according to Nestor Ramos in the Globe, lives in New Hampshire, takes the bus down to drive the cab he rents on weekends, and sleeps at a friend's house when he's here to save a few bucks. So, in addition to celebrating the Buzzies of the world, I thought I'd provide some guidelines for those of you wondering what you should do should you face a similar situation. Now, of course, the general rule is you should give it back. It's the moral thing to do. It's not yours. And even if the morality doesn't move you, the guilt will. Keep it and receive short-term pleasure, but long-term gnawing self-doubt. It's not worth it. Or is it? Here are my personal exceptions to the return it at all cost dictum. 1, size does matter. A guy called Boston Public Radio yesterday and spoke of buying 2 sheets of stamps at one of those automated kiosks at the post office, and he received 3. He then stands in line to return the single sheet. My advice, keep it. Send a few extra letters to long-lost friends. 2, who does matter, meaning who lost the cash or the watch or the whatever. If it's just an average person, give it back. If it's a cashier who gave you an extra 10 in change, give it back. But if it's John Graken, book a trip to Paris. Graken's the billionaire who just bought the most expensive condo in Boston ever for $30 million, but that's not why. He's also, as Congressman Michael Capuano told us yesterday, he's elevated slimy business dealings, profiting handsomely from distressed or foreclosed properties, to an art form. That's part of the why. But the cherry on that don't return it cake is that he renounced his citizenship a couple of decades ago to avoid paying taxes to the U.S. on his ill-gotten gains. 3, will you get caught does matter. Actually, that probably shouldn't, so forget that. To sum it up, it appears Raymond "Buzzy" McCausland is a far better man than me. What do you think? Email us, tweet us, let us know.